today we'll be reacting to Oh Measy, I Was Right About Faze. So, I'm just going to let y'all know. This whole time, we was with our families watching basketball, watching Stranger Things, watching the NFL, watching the Broncos sweep the Chiefs on Christmas. Faze literally collapsed right in front of our eyes. Because yes, he got the main core leaving. Apex. Bro, hold on. So let me go think. I saw Ronaldo left. I'm like, okay, this could be a troll, but we'll see. Then Lacey left. Okay, this is a little weird. And then Silky left. Oh shit. Something's going on. And then Jason left. And it was like, oh well, there goes all the new Faze member. Faze member. And I thought it was going to stop there. They left. And then shit started hitting the fan. Faze Adapt left. That means we set off my alarm. Faze Adapt left Faze. Oh shit. There's a problem. And then Rage left Faze. And if y'all don't know, Rage is one of my favorite streamers. He left. So it was just K-Son. K-Son left. Okay, but Faze got these guys. They got Apex. They got Swag. They have Rug still. That's one of those three exists. Faze is still going to exist. Apex left. Which means Swag left too. Because if Swag leaves, he's leaving. Because because Apex recruited him. So now it's just for Rug. Now I see this tweet. This was later down the list, but as soon as I saw this, I had to get on this. Because we just watched Faze collapse. There is no one left in Faze. Everyone was worried, is this Faze, is this going to really work out? Is this, And it looked like it was going to work out. And then it didn't. Once Platform Max ended his 365-day streaming, everyone knew something was kind of wrong. He took a break. Everyone knew something was a little bit off, but okay. Okay. Then he left. He's like, okay, something about mental, Something happened. He left. But I feel like everyone realized there's something off about this. And then Banks had that whole situation. He had to step down. I think he ended up selling it to some greedy corporation. Which, right there, I'm going to tell y'all this. And then, Faze missed what's going on. What's about going on? Marlon was, I think it was, turned out Marlon was going to be coming new member. They was getting ready for him. And then, randomly, it ended. They haven't streamed since. And then, Christmas, they all started leaving one by one. So now we're here. Faze is gone. It's literally just an esports thing now. It collapsed. It was on a revival, but it collapsed. So it's unfortunate, bruh. It's unfortunate. And I have this weird thing that out of all my time seeing content creators, wishing whenever content creators live in the same house, it never works out. The only group that it worked out for is A&P. That's it. Literally A&P. I think OTK worked for Will, but you're now seeing how that was working. So, but it wasn't even the creators were beefing, but it's just, it sounded like company greed tried to hold them over, and they all were like, nah, forget that. This isn't what Faze is about, and they all left. So without further ado, let me stop this long yapping sesh, and let's get right into it.
We had no control, or it's like we're puppets. We had no control, or it's like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. Anything could happen at any moment.
They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the? Making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm here to tell you.
Let's not talk about Banks right now. Holy shit, some things with Charlie D'Amelio, or was it Dixie or Charlie D'Amelio, came up.
As former
I don't know
Faze
if it's
Banks,
true though.
this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
One of the worst decisions you could have made in your life? That is so interesting. While last year seemed to be year of the Faze, this year has not gone so well. It all kind of kicked off with Plagueboy Max announcing his departure from the group, and ever since then, things have kind of been spiraling. And just yesterday, at least this commentary channel got one of the greatest gifts that could have possibly happened. Pretty much every single creator that was affiliated with Faze put out a tweet saying, left Faze Clan. I'm talking about Silky, Ron, Jason, Lacey,
Everyone.
Adapt.
Him, her, bodies.
Faze lost seemingly most of their current roster, and we've got to talk about it on this moment.
An update, they lost all of them. They lost all of them.
Momentous day. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Us unemployed gotta stick together, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I'm
now,
employed, so.
back into the celebration. Now, Faze isn't
It's
new to
just my
doing
job.
any sorts of different promotions, so when all of the Faze members came out and said left at Faze Clan simultaneously, it kind of didn't surprise anybody. People thought that it was just another one of their, subathons, marathons being promoted for what's to come. But some of us that follow the Twitter communities saw that, hey, there was a house up for sale. There were people being seen in different locations. There was a little bit of a breadcrumbing that had happened over the past couple of days that makes this moment in time make so much more sense. And to get the ball rolling even further away from the conversation about this being any sorts of promo, Plagueboy Max's legitimate cousin, Fatboy Dip, came to the internet and started to spill some tea that was so hot I had to blow it off 50,000 times
shit.
and still get burned when I drank it.
Gang,
What's
you
the
see
thing?
that little townhouse that Max was in? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the?
Whoa.
Or give a percentage of myself. What the?
Yo. Hello?
But Max is such a good. He just, yo, bro, I just want to. And now he's like, Max, look crazy, look like egoed out. No, that's not cool though. Like taking on the chin, making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
Now, up to that point, it was unverified what was going on, but what reason would Plagueboy Max's cousin have to lie about situations that happened? People forget when Max left, he was seen as like the black sheep in this situation. He was painted out to be the bad guy. He was the villain and all these things. And my ears were percolating because my pot has been stewing. This perpetual stew has been going on for about a year now, but I had to wait. Now, on top of just about every single Faze member saying that they had left Faze,
Like, it's like that whole situation, you just felt something was off. You feel me? It just felt like something was off.
The Faze account themselves also unfollowed every single member. And everybody started pointing their fingers again at Faze Banks saying, what did he do this time? But he quickly reminded us that, hey, I have nothing to do with Faze. What's going on right now? I left 4 months ago. It's unfortunate to see what's going on. Everybody the best, blase, blase, blah. You know, getting out in front of it just like any sort of PR person would do. This seemingly triggered Plaqueboy Max though, because what happens next seems to be a total scorched earth moment that wasn't intercepted by anybody. So we are very much inclined to believe that what he says about why he left Faze and the things that happened between him, some of the management, the senior leadership, and the group as a whole, whew, it's jarring, it's damning.
But we had a sponsor for that day, and niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. Game night. Yes, if you was there, you was there. Niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, because I'm not gonna lie, I just really don't remember. But they said that FaZe has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent niggas home early. This is the first time where in my head I went, okay, so how much control do we have here?
Wow.
And how much control do niggas have over us?
Yeah. It's a very valid question. Plaqueboy Max goes on to allude to the fact that he and the other members of Faze that signed on to the organization didn't have as much control as he once thought they did. You see, on a live stream about a year ago, I remember one Faze Banks saying to me specifically that, hey, you know, we just really rock with these guys. We support these guys. We're just behind them. And, you know, we want to get behind their creative endeavors. Very much making it seem as though, you know, he was just fully supportive, no strings attached. But as Max is detailing and outlining here that that is not the case. He goes on
So it went from hey, we're going to let these careers do their thing to eventually reel them into some corporation trap. Boom, you're now my employee. Do this and that and that and that. Oh, you don't want to stream on this day? Too bad, you're streaming. Oh, this goes against your morals? Too bad. You're sponsoring gambling or some, whatever, I don't know.
I like different times in which the organization decided to flex their muscle and their power. One time in particular in which they kicked Lacey out of the group.
Y'all remember when Lacey got kicked from FaZe?
Yes, I thought that was like, well, it was real, but it was like a miscommunication. No, it was dead ass real.
He really got kicked from FaZe. He got kicked from FaZe because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something, and we were missing video shoots, and so he actually got kicked from FaZe. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because niggas all had combos, but yes, he got kicked from FaZe.
He then goes on to seemingly verify what his cousin said in his stream about him having to pay a certain percentage of his earnings / pay $20K a month in order to rent out some sort of townhouse in the back. And he also hints that the other members are caught up in some sort of drama or ordeal, but ultimately he and themselves signed these contracts that had them connected to the Faze name and the Faze brand. I think we're seeing a lot of content creators in 2025, specifically from the streaming side, signed to these organizations, signed to these production companies, signed to these management firms that ultimately take control of who they are and what they do, which is completely contradictory to the whole reason why a lot of these content creators.
Yes, it literally contradicts what these guys do. Here's the thing that I love about streaming and content creation. It's literally your own schedule. You don't want to upload on this day? You don't have to. You don't want to stream on this day? You don't have to. You don't want to do this, or you don't want to do that. But or you can do whatever you want. Compared to some like job when you have a boss. That's what takes that out of the window. Said, could I join a content group in the future? I could, but as long as I could do whatever I fucking want, that is fine with me. But the moment you take that away from me, I am not afraid to leave. You feel me? guess what? If I don't want to stream on this day, then guess what? I'm not streaming on this day. And I especially don't want to hear no organizations coming. You have to stream on Sunday. Fuck no. Now, don't get me wrong. I may do a stream Sunday in the future, and we could like have a watch party of Sunday Night Football. I am down for that 100% in the future. But guess what? Who really wants to watch that? I'm down. But I don't really have the graphic, scoreboard, all of that. I don't have that. I'm down in the future. If y'all actually are down, I'll do it. Matter of fact, I'll stream on YouTube. I will. So.
Creators hopped into the streaming space in general. Hey, this is not traditional media, but I still want to be in the media space. I want to have control over what I do. Now, kind of as a hindsight 2020 and a forewarning for people coming up after them, these people aren't just going to throw bags at you just to throw bags at you. There's going to have to be something attached to it. No matter what a 40-year-old says on a live stream, they're not just going to put you in a mansion, pipe you up, give you all these lit aspirations and fulfill all your creative dreams without anything being attached to it at all. No, that's not how that works. And I do think it was interesting that when I had that sit down that Max kind of wasn't as vocal as, you know, some of the others, but we'll get back to that at a different time. Ultimately, Max felt like he was shafted in a lot of regards by Faze, blindsided by the organization, not the members. But because he likes to talk so much and not have his name slung through the dirt, it was about time that Faze Banks spoke out about the situation. And boy, he seemingly turned his back on everybody.
I just watched some clips from this Black Boy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. And it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos. And I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer and your community included is so incredibly fake. You guys the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. And you know, you're the program.
Where's the clip? Show me the clip. Show me a clip where they hated Max. Last I checked, when Max left, they told their audience, don't hate on Max. And Max is still cool with us. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. That's what I remember. Or better yet, maybe this is projecting. Maybe you're the one that's entitled. Maybe you're the one that has the ego. Banks?
And you have an ego the size, you think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And
you think because you give them this platform, they're entitled to do what you want to do? No. You're at the beginning, you're like, oh, we'll let these creators do their thing, and then you switch up on them, they call you out on that, and you're saying they have ego? Fuck harder.
Also, like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe, and you guys didn't fuck with the dap. None of you guys fucked with Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was gonna fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason, so fuck it.
Wait a minute.
We can get. And then it all worked. and we forced this relationship.
Hold on now. If I recall, that is not what was told to me. Now, I'm gonna stop being petty here
Thank
because I
you.
picked up a lot of audience that doesn't know necessarily the saga. But last year, I made a video speaking about Faze. And in that video, I outlined a couple of things that struck a nerve between a couple of the members, specifically Stable Ron and Lacey. Now, that night, or maybe the next one, I was invited to be on a live stream with Stable Ron so we can go through that conversation in discourse. And I thought that we had a pretty good conversation for what it's worth. We both came in there with some misunderstandings about each other. We came to some conclusions and agreements. And even when Lacey popped in, it was ultimately a productive conversation for what it was worth. I think we all left with better understandings of what was going on, who we were, gained perspective and insight about each other. And I thought that it was a very mature conversation. There was even a couple of times where Ron would tell his community, yo, like, I'm actually trying to like understand here. So, you know, stop getting on his dick about doing stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So kudos to those guys. But the tides turned specifically when Faze Banks stepped into the conversation and took it totally left. And in that conversation, he said things that kind of contradict what's being said today. Now, from a business perspective, I totally get it, gang. You funded a lot of the projects, and it would seem very ungrateful of these people who you funded to be, you know, so ungrateful afterwards, not appreciative, whatever the case may be. But that didn't really address what Black Boy Max kind of just said there. And you saying that they threw each other under the bus, they didn't like each other in the beginning, this, that, and the third, albeit a reiteration and maybe an exaggeration of conversations had previously. That's a complete contradiction as to what you said. Plus, if you ask some people that were very close to Faze during this time, that doesn't match up what's being done in real time. But we'll get into that in 2 seconds.
I don't know, man. I failed miserably. It's not the first L that I'm taking in my life. It's not the first time I've failed. But yeah, I wish that, in a weird way, I do wish that I fucking was closer to the fold the last 4 or 5 months. I don't think that this all would have happened this way.
Is it time to victory lap just yet? No, not yet. We'll save that for later on tonight. Banks goes on for another 12 minutes talking about, you know, how Twitter comms are negative, how these kids only care about their viewers and they'll do anything for them. They'll believe whatever they say, et cetera, et cetera. And in a follow-up to the video that he posted, he put out a tweet saying, these guys had free housing, free filmers and staff, all Faze channels, 0% income share. Their money and platforms all skyrocketed after meeting me, but I'm the bad guy. None of it makes sense. And like I said above, I'm going to get into all the details tomorrow. Now, as we wait for that glorious live stream to happen, the only thing that we have to really listen to are people from the Faze clan that were a part of this situation, and we have people that were close to them. During my research for this video, I found a tweet that Stable Ronaldo liked saying that, I cannot believe this is a grown man I'm listening to speak right now. No accountability, victimizing himself and throwing the boys under the bus, saying fake relationships and secretly hating BS. And that in-depth shit dead pissed me off. That's from a fan, but liked by Stable Ronaldo, I don't know. Another like tweet by Ron stated that being 34 years old and not taking accountability for ruining your business 2 times now is insane. This motherfucker always blaming other people for his failures in life. Heavy statements from ex-members directly, but let's see what adjacent people to these streamers, to these people in Faze clan have to say. Friend of the show, TK, decided to go live and react.
TK, he posted a tweet because, well, everyone was leaving. Rage went out to LA, see what was going on. He's coming back to Miami. TK sent a text. Rage said something about they messing with people's money. Shaking my head. TK took a screenshot, tweeted it. Normally Rage don't like his messages getting tweeted, but TK got the green light according to TK. Okay. So
to this situation, and what he said about Banks and the whole situation was very telling about how he viewed this whole entire project. It's a big money grab.
Is it really help if you was telling niggas you gotta pay me a percentage of your streams or your revenue to be a part of what we're doing here?
Again,
mind you, before these niggas joined Faze, what was Faze's relevancy? What was Faze's existence?
They weren't. They were a failing content group who, once again, was brought by was being run by some people who had no clue what was going on. You brought in someone who, at the time, was meant to be gaming. You brought in someone who wasn't gaming and who likes to victimize herself, which ended up killing that gaming business. So, right, okay, this wasn't going to work. You brought all that out. You brought your brand back, rebranded it into a content group organization. It's still an esports company, but you put it back to a content organization. And you brought in the creators. By the way, everyone said it was not going to work. And it did work. Not because of you, Banks. Not because of your color scheme. Not because of your video shoots. It's because of the creators themselves that you brought in. That's what saved Faze. The creators. Not the brand. Did it get popular from the brand? 100%. But at the same time, every single one of those were on pace to become big streamers by themselves. They say Faze, not you. They did.
Who were the?
And
who
then,
was Faze?
And then
I'm not
you failed again, Banks.
mad because he did a business move the wrong way. I'm mad because this nigga sitting here talking about it like, oh, I did so much for these niggas and all I did was love these niggas and all I'm asking for them is to sign a 360. Sign your soul away to me, little monkey. You little streamer dancer. Like, so what, you little idiot? Like, god damn. I gave you so much. I love you.
It was so bad. It's gotten so bad. You drove Adapt, Apex, Swag, Kason, and Rug. The 5 Faze guys who were there when Faze was gaming. You even drew Dumb out of the business. You know how crazy you gotta be to convince Adapt and Faze and Rug to leave Faze. Who's been with you since the fucking beginning? And you're sitting here blaming them. You're blaming Adapt, Banks? Get out. Get out of my face.
Y'all
Get out
so
of my
much like
face.
brothers. We built this shit from the ground, gang, and I let y'all get into it. So just sign your soul away. How fucking dare you be so ungrateful that you don't sign your fucking soul to me? Nigga, what are we fucking talking about, bro?
Hey, yo. Scum TK, a streamer and friend of Your Rage, a current Faze member, he hasn't tweeted out that he's left Faze, went on live and...
Yeah, because you recorded it before with those four leaving, but he did leave. There's no Faze member no more.
Refuted
now.
and debunked and stated that what Banks was saying was untrue in a lot of the regards, in a lot of the situations. There's one instance where Faze Banks says that he's never made any money from Faze. And Scum TK, again, somebody very close to this situation, completely refutes that allegation and says that it's totally false.
I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my...
You didn't just sell your stake in Faze? I don't care. I'm tripping. I'm leaking. I'm sorry. You didn't just sell your stake in Faze?
Oh, wow.
Niggas can't do shit to me. Black Sharks pull up. I got a
Keep digging in him, TK.
We can keep doing this. You didn't just
Wait,
come up
so who
real
has
bright
left
off this
Faze so
shit.
far?
Even Aiden Ross, somebody very close to Faze Banks and the corporate side of streaming, who was behind the scenes, went ahead and did his attempt at scorching the earth by outing the fact that not only did he help Faze financially, but revealing the truth behind what happened between the real owners and the content side of things.
They're using Faze's foundation, their money to buy stuff for shoots, brand deals, like Faze has been doing, right? It's a corporate business. So they never signed that 20% initially. They come after them a year and a half later and then ask for the 20%. That is where I think that that's in the wrong.
That's wrong.
Because listen, if your intention was to sign these guys for 20% to join Faze, they probably would have all done it.
Yep.
But now you waited till they're big and they already have.
Streaming needs to become like, how do I say this? Like famous tennis players, Serena Williams. You feel me? That individual golf, Tiger Woods, racing, except not racing's kind of technically playing for a team. Switch with that. You do streams, you do your daily income. If you want to join a content group, you can, but it needs to be a content group, not to be viewed as a business. It's a business, but it shouldn't be viewed as that. It should be viewed as fans who came together and created a group. That's what AMP was. Literally friends that came together and made a group, and they looked at it as like a friend group, not a business, a friend group. And it is a business. Don't get me wrong, it is. But if you're joining a content group, and this game looked at as a corporate business, guess what? The people that saying 9 to 5 is harder than streaming, guess what? If you're a streamer and you're joining a group, guess what? It will be worse than 9 to 5. And I don't think streaming is that hard. Sorry. The hard part is getting blow up. And that is hard. But once you blew up, it's a smooth sailing from there. Because no matter what you do, you're going to have an audience. You want to do something different? Hey, audience, I'm doing something different. Da, 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 da. How do y'all like it? They like it? Guess what? Do it more often. They don't? Okay. They don't like that. That's cool. Feel me? Any upcoming streamer career, do not join a content group who treats themselves as an organization instead of a friendship. Alright? Otherwise, be independent. Because or else, this shit is going to be worse than 9 to 5.
Have millions of followers and
It
dollars.
should be.
So why would they sign a contract? You can't put a deal in their fucking face at this point. Do you understand? I understand both sides here. They wouldn't have done it. Well, then, Lico, then you could argue that they wouldn't be as big as they are. Or you can argue that, there's many arguments to make. I think they would have done it. Maybe not all of them.
All in all, this is messy because unlike we were told in the beginning, this seems to be way more business as opposed to real, genuine friendships, handling things the right way, the proper way. It seems very shady and underhanded. Now, I know over the next couple of days, we are going to hear, the different sides and people are going to have to speak about this. But this is very interesting, especially because last year, people who kind of called this stuff out were killed over some of their criticisms and takes. So now I'm putting a call to action. Two things. One, I will be live tonight going over what Faze Banks is going to be saying in his stream where he announces everything. I'm pretty sure others will be speaking out about it by that time, so that'll give us a lot to react to. I really want to stay glued to this because I am kind of ready to skip around the room. Skip around the room. Skip around the room. But two, and most importantly, make sure you get this to them. Ron, Lacey, I'm extending you guys an invitation just like you extended me an invitation to talk about these things. Hell, I'll do it for Max. I'll do it for Silky. I'll do it for Jason. I'll do it for whoever. Adapt as well. Especially because it's really messed up hearing that he's also leaving this organization knowing what this organization meant to him. But to you two guys who generously granted me your platform, I want to do the same for you. Hell, I'll even fly you to be in studio with me so we can have this conversation in real time. But I just want to talk. I just want to get it all out there. And I just want to ask, why did Faze Banks lie to me? Why did Faze Banks lie to us?
We would have requested.
Hey, y'all. That's the end of this video. Good God. So much has happened, bro. So much has happened. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Got nothing else to say. What are y'all thoughts on this Faze thing? But otherwise, I will see y'all later. Peace.